All right, so in the world of hair solutions, two huge players are stepping into the ring, SH1 and PP405. But listen, this is way more than just different formulas in a bottle. We're talking about two completely different philosophies. So in this explainer, we're going to break down what they are, how they work, and, most importantly, why the real story here isn't about which one wins.
So that really brings us to the big question, right? Are we looking at some kind of mythic artifact, something that's steeped in story and lore? Or are we talking about a straight-up scientific revolution, backed by cold, hard data? We've got two very different paths to vitality here. The question is, which one actually holds the key?
So on one side, you've got SH1, and we can really think of this as the mythic contender. It's all framed in narrative and symbolism. And then on the other side, you have PP405, the clinical challenger. This one is grounded entirely in empirical evidence and regenerative medicine. So yeah, these aren't just products, they're entire worldviews.
And that really gets to the heart of what we're talking about today. This is a true clash of paradigms. We're putting simulation up against regeneration. It's a battle between two totally different ways of thinking about how to solve the exact same problem.
Okay, let's kick things off with our first contender, SH1, what we're calling the Mythic Shield. And to really get what this is all about, you have to look past the label on the bottle and dig into the story it's trying to tell.
The whole philosophy behind SH1 is something called a diagnostic simulation. Now, what on earth does that mean? Well, it means its power is presented through really compelling visuals and a very strong narrative. It focuses on metaphorical claims just as much as its chemical formula. It's not just a product, it's framed as part of a much bigger story.
So here's the hard data that we actually do have on it. Its mechanism is a DHT receptor blockade. In simple terms, it tries to block the hormone that's often responsible for hair loss. But, and this is a big but, the evidence it presents relies on simulation visuals, not on actual clinical trials with people. It's heavily backed by Dr. Melvin Sewell, but right now it's missing that crucial peer-reviewed validation.
And this is the key thing you got to understand about SH1. It's positioned as something more than a product. It's framed as a mythic reclamation of vitality. That makes it an incredibly powerful symbolic tool, almost like an artifact inside a larger universe.
Okay, now let's completely switch gears and turn our attention to its rival, which you'll see takes the total opposite approach. Let's meet PP405, the scientific spear. PP405 is all about the hard science of regenerative medicine. Its goal isn't just to block a bad guy like DHT. Nope. Instead, it aims to be biologically integrative, to actually go in there and wake up the dormant follicle stem cells. It's about rebuilding from the ground up. And honestly, the profile here really speaks for itself. The mechanism? Stem cell activation. The evidence? We're talking formal clinical trials that are already underway. And the backing? Whoa, it is formidable. We're talking over $30 million from Google Ventures, and it's all built on a foundation of solid research from UCLA. Clinically speaking, this is the real deal.
So, while SH1 is poetic and all about the story, PP405 is all about the empirical data. It's being positioned to be a true scientific revolution, one that could totally redefine the entire field with measurable, repeatable results.
Okay, so we've got these two very, very different philosophies. One is built on myth, the other on pure clinical rigor. Let's put them head-to-head and see how they really stack up against each other.
And this is the question that's on everyone's mind, isn't it? Which one is actually better? Is it the story or is it the science? Let's just break down the data side by side.
This table just makes the contrast crystal clear. Take a look at the mechanism. You've got blockade versus activation. For evidence, it's cool simulation visuals versus formal clinical trials. And for backing, it's a single promoter versus major venture capital and a top-tier university. I mean, on paper, when you're talking scientific credibility, PP405 has a massive edge. But, and this is a really crucial strategic twist, while PP405 is on that long, slow road of pharmaceutical approval, SH1 could just bypass that whole process. See, if it's marketed as a cosmetic topical, something that isn't making specific medical claims, it could get to market much, much faster, and that speed is a huge advantage. So after comparing them, after seeing this huge clash of myth versus science, you might be thinking, okay, I just have to pick one. But what if there's a third option, a far more powerful possibility that no one's talking about?
Let's just pause here for a second. Because what if versus is completely the wrong word? What if this isn't a story about rivals at all? But about partners?
I mean, just look at how perfectly their strengths and weaknesses fit together. SH1 is the defender. It blocks DHT. It protects the follicles you already have. But PP405 is the regenerator. It goes in and reactivates the dormant ones. It's so clear. One plays defense and the other plays offense.
And this leads us to this incredible concept, the dual-layer protocol. So, step 1, you use SH1, the guardian, to protect your follicles from getting damaged in the first place. Then, step 2, you bring in PP405, the rebuilder, to wake up those dormant follicles and promote new growth. It's a classic 1-2 punch.
What's so cool is that this scientific synergy creates this beautiful parallel back to the lore. The product that started out as this mythic idea suddenly finds its true purpose right alongside pure science. It brings together these huge ideas of containment and renewal, the shield and the spear, finally working together as one.
So maybe the ultimate solution isn't one or the other, but both. A single protocol that brings together the absolute best of both worlds. They call it the Sovereign Protocol, Shield and Seed. A perfect fusion of mythic defense and scientific rebirth. Now that is a seriously powerful idea.